Okay.
Yes.
All right. Welcome.
You know,
Welcome.
you know it's good if we start out laughing
That's
already.
right.
Shit.
Oh, you know, I don't know if it's because we're just getting older and like technology is like this new thing to us, but every week we have like this. But that was the best. We're
Yeah, that was
playing
good.
around with Zoom, which is what we're now using to record this on, and we found these backgrounds, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, all of a sudden we were like in a haunted house. It was really cool
it
looking.
was. It was. Uh, I'm Alan. That's John. We're the horror guys. This week, a lot of different tidbits of a lot of news and things like that. I don't. Did you watch Titanic 666?
I didn't get a chance to yet. No. Did you watch it?
Yeah, sort of.
Oh boy.
It
Okay.
was hard. It was tough. Oh my
Okay.
god. If anybody out there liked that movie, please send us a message and comment here and tell me why.
Oh boy. That bad, huh?
It was just.
Damn.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be, Shakespearean or anything, but holy cow.
Absolutely not. No.
But, yeah, it was a little rough. But anyway,
I've seen some movies like that.
haven't we all? Hey, tell me if this looks a little better since we're. Is that better or worse?
Oh, there you go.
Better?
Yeah, you're nice and bright now.
Bright. All right.
Yes.
All right, guys. We'll try to compose ourselves here, and we have a lot. That's fine because we have a lot of different things. A lot of different things to go over today. A lot of news out there. A lot of cool stuff. So let's jump right into it. What do you want to start with?
I got my notes, man.
You
I'm
got
ready
your
to go.
notes. I got my phone here, and I'll follow right along.
There it is. All right. So if you are a fan of The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs, then you're in luck because season 4 starts this Friday, April 29th on Shudder. If you're not familiar with the show, Joe Bob and Darcy the Mail Girl bring you 2 horror features every Friday night, along with interviews and guests, usually someone from the movie that they're playing or like the director of the film. And, he comments throughout and gives his critiques of the film and then kind of talks about the movie and stuff. But I remember watching this, and you probably do too, as a kid on Monster Vision on TNT. Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. Monster Vision. Yeah. I actually talk about that all the time. It's a lot of the old monster movies they would play and things like that.
Oh yeah. And he always had his like kill count for the movies and stuff, and he talked about everything and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's cool to see this back on Shudder. Like Shudder's a cool ass channel, which you're the one that got me hooked on that.
Yeah. Well, it's what
I need to start watching it more.
I don't know so it's owned by AMC. I don't know what the monthly price. It's like $5 a month the last time, or 10. But I don't even know what it is now.
I think I pay like $6.31 a month for it or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and you get that.
Yeah.
You get all kind of really good movies. Shows. They do some original stuff. The Creep Show series is actually a Shudder original thing. The Creep Show that they do, which is also very, very good.
Yeah, and that's actually coming back for season 4 too.
I saw that. Yeah, very excited about that. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Absolutely.
So that's all good news.
They have a lot of really cool. You know who has a streaming service and it's actually free is Shout Factory. If you go to their website, you can actually watch the stuff real time as it plays.
Really?
So that's kind of cool. They don't have an actual app yet. I don't think for everything, but you can watch it on their website though. So that was actually kind of cool too.
Yeah. Well, and I mean that's the way of everything now. I mean, that's where we're headed with it. It's going to be all streaming. I mean,
pretty
everything.
Much. All right. So Blumhouse has a new movie coming out. There's a surprise for you. They pump out movies like every 2 weeks.
I know.
It's called Dashcam. And there is a small teaser trailer on YouTube that you can watch. Basically, a little backstory on it. It's a live streaming improv musician abandons LA for London, steals her ex-bandmate's car, and makes the wrong decision to save or give a ride to an elderly woman who isn't what she seems. So the film is shot entirely from a perspective of a handheld iPhone and the dash cam from the car. And it comes out to VOD on June 3rd. I saw the small.
How'd it look?
All they really showed was like you see a shot from the dash cam, you see somebody standing in like the road a little ways up. The girl approaches and then she screams, and that's pretty much it. So it's not giving you much.
Yeah.
But again, this is I think the second movie that I know of that's been shot on an iPhone. So
well,
the first one got a bunch of shit, but
what was the first one?
It was a horror movie. I can't remember the name of it, but it came out maybe 2 years ago.
There was a movie a few years ago. It was called Ratter.
Okay.
And it was shot from the perspective of this girl who she had her phone and her computer. And it was basically shot from the perspective of the guy, the Ratter, who was spying on her and watching her from her computer and her phone. And like the computer would come on at night and she would, like, you'd see somebody in her house and all this and that. It's actually really, really good, really creepy.
I've never seen that one. Where's that one at? Do you know?
It's been years. I saw it years ago. It's just Ratter. I think it's Ratter.
I'll have to look into that one.
Yeah,
it reminds me that. Do you remember Campfire Tales that came out in like the late 90s?
Sort of, yeah.
It was an anthology.
Yeah, like an Are You Afraid of the Dark or type thing.
Yeah, but it was like more like
adult
horror movie
oriented. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember watching this one night. I woke up. I don't know, man. I sleep like shit. So I woke up one night at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I went downstairs. I put on the TV, and this randomly was on, and it was on the segment where there was this little girl who was home by herself, and she was talking to her friend on the computer, and telling her that she was gonna be home by herself. Her parents were going somewhere, and you find out that this is a grown ass, creepy ass man she's talking to, and he ends up coming to her house, right?
Right.
So like the story keeps going, this little girl like takes her shower and stuff, and she finds her birthday gift, like that's like her bike and all that. And she's got this dog. And every night before she goes to bed, she puts her hand down by her bed, and the dog licks her hand, right? Man.
I think I know.
So
next thing,
yeah, man. Next thing you know, she says something to the dog, and you can hear the sound of licking. Mm-hmm. And the little girl looks up, and on the mirror it says people can lick too.
Yep.
And you can see this asshole under the bed.
Yep.
That shit freaked me out, man, to the point where I literally looked under my bed before I went to sleep that night. And I said, if something starts licking my hand, I'm ripping your fucking jaw off.
That's such a that's like an urban legend thing too. I mean, I've seen that version of that story in many different, and that's such a classic, but yeah, man, that's some scary ass shit, man.
Right. That will 100% make you check under your bed. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Just doubt. Like the scene from Halloween when he pops up in the back of the car, that shit makes you check the back seat of your car always.
Yes.
That's why. This is why they do this kind of shit in movies, to fuck with us. That's
right. Why. They know exactly. And it's theater of the mind and all that. Yes. But I mean, hey, Blumhouse may, it's difficult to do a movie shot on a dash cam and an iPhone, but I mean, certainly the premise of the movie sounds interesting. So hopefully they have something.
It does.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I like stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, I'll check it out. It's worth at least a shot. I mean, it can't be any worse than Titanic 666, right? I can't vouch for it. I haven't seen it yet, but I trust you.
Oh my god. I have to admit, like, it lost me like early on, and I got distracted, and so I
oh man,
it was tough. Listen, I don't want to shit all over it too hard, because Tubi is this free streaming service. They don't charge anything, and some people might like it. First of all, I'm not big into the weird, I mean, it had your typical, flickering ghost, screaming. It was your standard. There were some cool things about it. The effects were a little better than what I thought. I don't want to shit too hard on it, because I think it's cool that they're trying to do their own thing and trying to put stuff out. Like I said, it doesn't cost any money. So, but
can't
but it was a challenge.
So I got one for you. Do you remember the made-for-TV movie from 1981, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow? Do you remember that? It had was it Larry Drake who played in Dr. Giggles? He was the main character in Dr. Giggles.
I feel like I've seen that.
So the premise basically was he was a grown man, but he was kind of slow.
Okay.
And he made friends with a lot of the kids in like the area and stuff. Well, one of the little girls came up missing, and she like something had happened to her, and they of course blamed him. So they all went after him, basically pitchforks in hand, ready to kill him, and they end up killing the poor guy. Some of the townspeople end up killing him. He comes back in the spirit of this Scarecrow. Actually, a really cool movie. It was made for TV, so there's not like a lot of blood and gore and stuff like that. But we're getting a sequel out of nowhere 40 years later, which is very strange. There is a trailer on YouTube, and it's coming out to video on demand on May 10th. So I'm going to check it out.
The original's Night of the. Is it Night? What did you say?
Dark
Night of the Scarecrow.
Yeah, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, and this is Dark Knight of the Scarecrow 2. And I guess the original, I don't know if it's the original writer, original director is actually coming back for it. So
now that's cool. That's odd that 40 years later, and they're doing that.
Yeah. It just came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, that is okay.
Wow, yeah.
So I'm not sure, like, if it's supposed to be him. Obviously, that actor actually passed away, but I don't know if the character is still supposed to be, as they called him, Bubba. I don't know if it's still supposed to be him or what. I don't know if he's like a ghost now, or if he's just been chilling for 40 years. I don't know. But
he comes back every 40 years.
I mean, maybe he's like Jeepers Creepers. There you go.
We're getting another one of those too eventually.
Right. Now, listen, if that director is still alive in another 40 years to make Dark Knight of the Scarecrow 3, maybe he's the fucking ghost.
He might be.
Holy shit.
Maybe he's Grandpa from X.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, you know what? There's a thing about grandpas being really old, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's at least 557.
Right.
I was kind of mad that Grandpa wasn't in the new Netflix one. Like, he's a staple of those movies, man. Come on.
I know.
You know what though? Saving grace is maybe when we saw Leatherface go back home later, maybe that's where Grandpa's at. He
might be at home. I mean, think about it. He might turn to dust if you try to move him from one place to the other. So, got to leave him in that chair. So he's probably still there.
Right. You have a point there. That's for sure. So
you hit one bump and he just disintegrates. You're pushing him down.
Oh, dude,
you hit a bump and dust.
Man, that guy, seriously. I mean, some of the funniest stuff you'll ever see. Like, I remember when in part 2, they were trying to get him to hit, Stretch in the head with the hammer, and his hand just to shake it, he just drops it. Like, dude, he's dead. Give up. I mean, come on, he's dead. But that's okay. Whatever. So I don't know if you know this, but Salem's Lot is getting a reboot.
Yes.
And that's actually coming out to theaters on September 9th. And that is, of course, a new take on Stephen King's vampire story.
Yes.
So the original came out in 1979.
Yeah.
And it was about a vampire named Kurt Barlow, who I like to call Blue Nosferatu, because that's what he looks like in every one of his pictures.
He does. He does.
It wasn't a bad movie.
Even with the long front teeth.
Long. Yeah, he looks like a blue Nosferatu. So like a Blue Man Group and Nosferatu fucked and had a kid, it would be Kurt Barlow. I'm just saying. Like, yeah, that's it. That's what you get. I mean, it was I thought it was decent. The sequel, I think, is like hot garbage, but that happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll check it out. I don't know if I'll rush to the theater to see it, to be honest with you, but
it might be something to catch on streaming eventually. And that's the thing anymore, especially with kids and everything. It's tough to get out to the theater to see. Yeah. You got to save your times for. But yeah,
very, very true.
I mean, as long any kind of Stephen King thing is, I mean, they redid it and it was fantastic. So.
Yeah. Oh, like you said, we talked about Firestarter coming too in May. So
yeah,
I mean, there's another one.
It's another one. Yeah.
So it just seems like. Honestly, it seems like they've been talking for years about redoing. They redid Pet Sematary, but they've been talking about redoing it again. So who the hell knows? You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that seems like instead of doing sequels anymore, they're like, fuck it, let's just start over and make another one. Okay, that's why there's like Pet Sematary, Pet Sematary, Pet Sematary, and you're like, well, which year? Because obviously they. Holy shit!
Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scream.
Right. Like, which year?
Yeah.
So HBO Max is jumping on the horror aspect, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
With a new show called The Baby.
This one
sounds.
It looks like the baby is like killing people, from what I can tell.
So it's an 8-episode series, kind of compared to like Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
So it begins on May 1st, runs to June 12th, and a little bit behind it is when 38-year-old Natasha is unexpectedly landed with a baby. Her life of doing whatever she wants, whenever she wants, drastically implodes. Controlling, manipulative, and with violent powers, the baby twists Natasha's life into a horror show. Where does it come from? What does it want? And what lengths will Natasha have to go in order to get her life back? She doesn't want the baby wants her. I have a few questions here. It sounds like she didn't give birth to this child. So did like an evil stork just drop this kid off at her doorstep? Or I and it sounds a lot like The Omen, because they said there's a clip in like the first episode where a woman throws herself off the bridge. And it's like, that's very Omen-like.
Yeah, that is very Omen-like.
So it's all for you, Damien.
Probably drawing a lot from both, of course. Now it is considered a horror comedy, so I assume there's going to be some campiness to it. Right, so maybe there'll be some parody thrown in there, but it looks like again it looks like it's worth a watch. It's for those of you that have HBO Max, check it out. You could see the trailer online. They have a pretty solid trailer. Funny enough, in the trailer there's like a little bell that she rings, like one of those bells where I have that exact one. I bought it for my son. It's like a bell with like a little red base on it. Wait a minute. You didn't want your son. Your son wants you. Look out, man.
That's right.
That's right.
Look out. Oh shit.
So
why do I feel like the baby should be? Why do I feel like the baby should be dressed like Uncle Sam, pointing his finger at you, like he wants you?
I want you.
Like, right? Like what the fuck, dude? That's kind of it. Doesn't sound bad. It's probably going to be awful, but who knows? Maybe it'll be good.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I mean, HBO. We're talking. HBO's a high performing network. I mean, they tend to be very strict about who and what they bring in. So I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. Apparently, the whoever produced the Chernobyl series and the Landscaper series, which are both popular, are doing this one. So I don't know. We'll see.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a huge fan of Rosemary's Baby. I dug the first one, but I think they got really stupid afterwards.
Yeah.
I just actually watched that Cursed Films 2 on Shudder. They were talking about Rosemary's Baby, but the turnoff for me was they didn't really talk a lot about the movie itself. They talked more about Charles Manson and like the connection between that and the film and stuff. And I was like, I mean, it was interesting, but at the same time, it was like, oh. And then it even got into like the Beatles and like John Lennon getting killed and stuff. I'm like, what is going on here? Some weird shit,
It is some weird shit.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I want to watch that movie ever again now. Like, I'm good. I think I'm okay. I think I'm good. Man. So we got Stranger Things season 4 is finally coming to Netflix. In May. So, well, actually, the first part of the season, I guess they're going to break it into 2 parts. So I admit I've never watched this yet, even though Madison tells me
really?
I should have like
it's
years
very
ago.
good.
Yeah,
very.
That's what I keep hearing.
1980s throwback.
Yes.
Sci-fi horror is what I would probably classify it as. It's very good. Yeah. Very well done. According to this,
I bought. Go ahead. No, you're good.
According to this, the 4th season, which I don't know if it's supposed to be the last season or not.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Yeah.
Supposedly has a $30 million per episode cost, which is more than Game of Thrones and The Mandalorian combined in terms of total budget. So that is a significant. I mean, $30 million. Halloween, both Halloween movies were made for about $10 million. To kind of put that in perspective, crazy. 2 full movies. These are per episode, so they're going all out for this last. What I assume is the last season.
No wonder why the show is ending. Shit, it's too expensive.
That's right.
Well, here's what's got me intrigued, though, right? So Robert Englund, of course, Freddy Krueger.
Mm-hmm.
has joined the cast as a character named Victor Creel. And I ain't gonna lie, dude, he looks pretty creepy. Like his eyes are like, looks like they're sewn shut or something along those lines. I'll put a picture up, obviously. So his character is described as a disturbed man who was imprisoned in a psychiatric hospital for a gruesome murder in the 1950s. I'm all in. Like,
and anything with Robert Englund.
Yeah.
that's great.
I mean,
one thing you'll appreciate, there are a lot of really cool throwbacks in that series. I'm sure you heard about the HMH when they went to Hawkins, because they're in Hawkins Memorial Hospital, and stuff like that.
Yes.
There's actually a scene with the Michael Myers mask. There's
so I have a funny story about that. I bought a pop of that character. Let me look at her name, Max, and she's wearing the Michael Myers mask, right?
Yep.
So Madison was so pissed at me. She's like, "You never even watched the show, and you're buying that pop." I was like, "Michael Myers." That's
right. That's right.
But yeah, I bought it because of that. I did. Yeah. I have it in my pop collection. Yes.
Yeah. So very cool stuff. I mean, it's cool that show. Obviously, the people who created that show are in tune with that and are fans. So it
seems like similar to the Goldbergs, how they live the 80s basically. Like if you ever watch that show, that's like watching, man, dude, like I love that damn show just because of all the 80s stuff you get to see. Like, it's so cool.
And like I said, this is a show you could binge. I mean, you could watch it quick. You could get through it pretty quickly.
I need to.
Yeah,
I need to, man. I even bought the really cool VHS like looking covers for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And Madison was like, "Have you watched them yet?" I'm like, "No, I just bought them because they were cool looking." And I intend on watching them eventually.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. After this season, we got to review it. So
that's true. I told her I kind of want to wait so I can watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. You're right. All right. So here we go. Lionsgate is looking to reboot 2 horror franchises. Here we go again.
More reboots.
Yeah. So they are looking to reboot the Leprechaun franchise, which already to date has 8 films in it. Including the second reboot that came out in 2018 with Leprechaun Returns.
Is Hornswoggle coming back to play the Leprechaun?
Now that one was awful. Leprechaun Origins
terrible.
Was awful.
There was such an opportunity to let Hornswoggle play the Leprechaun as the original Leprechaun, but instead they turned him into like a trolly monster.
Yeah, and you barely saw him.
Yeah.
And it was disappointing when you did see him.
Yeah,
it was
what a letdown. Okay. And it was nothing like, for those of you who've never seen it, it was nothing like the original. It was nothing like the original films. Nothing at all. No. Like it had nothing in common. I hate it when they try to do that. When they try to do something that's not, it was bad.
I agree. Well, now the 2018 one that came out, Leprechaun Returns, was actually a direct sequel to the original. Which I'm not gonna lie,
I didn't know that. I didn't see that. So I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, it's a different actor playing the Leprechaun, but I feel like they just could have continued off of this. They even brought back do you remember Ozzy, Mark Hamilton, who played Ozzy in the original? Mm-hmm. He came back for this one, so it was cool. And for me, I love when they bring back an old character when they try to reboot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know why they're not gonna just follow through and make a sequel. I don't know, man.
Like, give it a fresh jump, I guess. But
my thing is though, if they're gonna reboot completely, then I would like to see Warwick Davis come back, even if it's for one movie.
Yeah,
I guess his thing was kind of like he didn't want to do it because of his kids, but his kids are getting older now. Yeah, so maybe he would come back to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. No matter who plays the Leprechaun, you're never going to match Warwick Davis.
No,
great.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And he has that accent. I mean, that voice and everything.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, think about it. The Leprechaun's been to space. He's been to the hood. He's been back to the hood. I mean, this dude's been everywhere.
Right.
What more do you do with him, right? He raps. He smoked weed.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
A reboot's not unreasonable if you want to keep going. But I don't know. I mean, it's one of those franchises you can keep making movies and you can still make them entertaining as long as you don't do the what is it, Origins or whatever it was.
No, that was terrible.
Just brutal.
That was a very just bad idea. Like, it was just bad. Okay, so movie number 2 that Lionsgate is looking to reboot or
Again,
franchise.
this is another reboot of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're looking to reboot once again the Blair Witch Project.
Now the last one they did had so much potential and it sucked.
Yeah. The 2016 one, right?
Yeah, it was terrible.
I'll be honest, I didn't even watch that one yet.
Don't bother.
But here's the thing though. So now we just said this. They've already attempted a reboot, obviously in 2016, and it didn't work. Mm-hmm. So hey, let's try it again, right? Mm-hmm. Now there is a sequel, The Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, mm-hmm. which was okay, I guess. It was all right.
Yeah, yeah.
My biggest thing is this though. The 1999 one, they really made you feel like everything you were watching was real.
Was real, right?
You really thought that you were watching these people's lost footage.
Yep.
And they're trying to find this Blair Witch, and it was actually kind of creepy.
Yeah, and they even did a documentary to go along with it, and they had the actors and actresses sign non-disclosure agreements and stay off TV, and really, really played it up. You're never going to recapture that. I feel like
today. Not
today. For all the shit that we hear about some of the other franchises, I really think that you could really apply to the novelty has worn off to this more so than the others.
Yeah.
You can make a million Chainsaw sequels, you can make a million Scream sequels, and you can still do it, and it's still fun. It still makes some sense. The novelty for this is worn off because even now watching the original Blair Witch, knowing that it was all. It doesn't have it anymore. It's a different time. Mm-hmm. I just don't think that works anymore. It was brilliant when they did it. Yeah. Obviously they made a lot of money off of it. But yeah, I just don't, not the Blair, after the last go around with it, the Blair Witch just does not excite me anymore. I would love to be proven wrong. I'd love to see something cool, as you know. I just can't get my hopes up for it.
I don't think we would get it. Here's the thing. Some movies really should be left untouched.
Yeah.
So if you struck gold in 1999 with the original Blair Witch, leave it alone.
Leave it. Let it
go. It was good.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man. Because you can always look back on that and rewatch it again and be like, damn, this was actually good.
It was. And understanding everything around it, and like I said, it's a different time period. Things are different. But I mean, hey, let them try, I guess. Let them try.
Good luck is all I can say.
Yeah.
All right. So we got filming for season 2 of Chucky is underway.
Yeah, I did see that. So that's good news.
So that'll be coming back this fall on both USA and Sci-Fi.
Yep.
And so far we know that Brad Dourif, obviously the voice of Chucky, is coming back.
Yep.
Jennifer Tilly's coming back.
Yep.
And returning along with them are the characters of Jake, Devin, and Lexi, and which is cool because we had talked about that, not knowing if they were going to come back or not.
Yeah, I was going to say that answers our question in terms of what they were going to do with
because
that.
You think about that, they left us on that cliffhanger of, is that truck going to make it to the airport to be shipped off to whatever spot it's going to, and are these kids going to travel? You know what I mean? Like, we didn't know.
Right. I like to see the continuation of the story, though. So I'm glad that's the way they're going with it.
So we got them coming back. That's super cool. Alex Vincent, our Andy Barclay. And surprisingly, they kind of dropped this one, and I'm kind of surprised they did. Christina Elise Kyle, who we thought blew up in the house in season 1, spoiler alert, sorry about that, is also listed to return. So I guess her character didn't die.
She's not dead, unless her flashbacks, but I don't,
I mean, I felt like what sucked about that was, you only saw her a couple times, and I feel like her character just disappeared so quick.
Yeah.
They didn't give her enough, I think she's going to come back.
I'm sure she'll
obviously
be back,
maybe. I think she got out of there. Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah. It was kind of wishy-washy with the way they filmed it. Anyway, they never, like you said, they never confirmed that she was dead. So.
No, absolutely not.
So we'll see.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to it coming back because I love the first season.
They did a real good job with it. I'm excited to see where they go with it for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's now time for the icing on the cake.
Here we go, the main event, so to speak.
Yes. Ring the bell, bring out Michael Buffer. It is time to rumble. It is time to hit the Halloween Ends news. And I got one for you. You're going to laugh at this one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, this one came from one of those random Halloween groups. Okay. And I quote, this is what it says.
Simultaneously, the best and the worst kind of places, by the way.
Yeah. Now, mind you, this isn't coming from my mouth. So when I read this, it's not me saying this. So just remember that. I quote, it says, I heard somewhere maybe Michael Myers could be Dr. Loomis's son in Halloween Ends. I'm done. I'm done. You're right. I'm done. we're okay, dude. Seriously,
we're coming back next week. We're gonna be the comedy guys. We're changing everything.
Yeah. So okay, now just let that sink in for a second. Michael Myers is now going to be Dr. Loomis's son.
You literally see his mom and dad in the 1978 movie. What kind of retcon did they think was going to happen?
I mean, is there a story there that we didn't know? Was mom kind of like hooking up with Dr. Loomis and dad didn't know about it? And maybe dad did find out and Michael found out. And that's why he killed his sister so he can get closer to Dr. Loomis. Wait, oh shit, did I just make that make sense? Oh no.
You
dude,
just started a whole new
come
theory.
on, man. I'm sorry, I quit. But seriously though, come on. Like that is just a stupid fucking thing to say. Like just it's not gonna happen. Let's be honest.
No,
it's just not gonna happen.
That's one of the worst ones I've heard.
Yeah. Now I know you have a very fun one to read, and I'm ready. I'm 100%.
Somebody leaked this. I don't know who the hell. I want to know who the hell takes the time out of their day to type this shit up and try to actually get people to. First of all, if you want us to believe it, you got to do better. You got to do better. So to whoever did this, you got to do better. This is bad. Anyway, and you could throw it up here so whoever wants to read along. It is a supposedly leaked page from the script.
Yeah. Well, the ending ends. Supposedly, yes.
The ending, yes.
Yeah.
So
if you guys want to know how Halloween ends, here you go.
There you go. At least in this universe here. Graveyard exterior. Laurie swings the axe and Michael's head lops off to the ground. Okay, so here we are already. We're Halloween H2O, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Loomis Jr. By the way, there's no confirmed character named Loomis Jr. Yells, no! Loomis Jr. runs up to Laurie and her granddaughter. He stops cold, seeing the shape's headless corpse bent over the headstone, blood trickling down. I'm assuming it's Judith Myers' headstone. Loomis Jr. says, "What have you done?" Laurie says, "Evil." And Allison responds, "Died tonight." They won't do that. They won't do that.
Man.
Loomis Jr. says, "We found Michael's body last week." Allison says, "Sorry, what now?" Loomis Jr. says, Jesus. The bus crash we thought he escaped from. He must have stumbled into the woods nearby, probably internal injuries. Crime lab matched his DNA type this morning. Laurie and Allison look down at the severed head next to the headstone. Laurie says, "So who the hell is this?" Loomis Jr. says, "Some psycho." The girls look at each other, then back to the head, then to Loomis Jr. The gravity sets in, crane shot up and away as we all realize how pointless this all has been, and Michael has been dead for 4 years. First of all.
Okay. Yeah. We have seen Michael since 2018. Confirmed Michael Myers.
He's got the scars. He's had his mask off. Laurie knows what he looks like. Everybody knows what he looks like.
Exactly.
Except for the mob that was chasing down Benjamin Franklin looking guy.
Yes, exactly.
The cops know what he looks like.
Right. That script makes zero fucking sense.
No, you got to do better. You got to do better. If you want to fool us, you got to do better. Shame on you. Shame on you. You got to do better. I'm sorry. That sucked. That was poor effort, and you wasted your time. And I hope you watch this. I hope you're one of the people that watch this channel. So you know that. You know that you suck at this. You got to do something else with your time. Yeah. Take up
here's the funny part.
Something. I don't know.
As you were reading that, even like the lines don't even sound like shit they would say.
No, it's so bad.
She said, "Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say? Like, really?" she'd be like, "What the fuck did you just say?" Like, that girl is
now
traumatized.
Perhaps the person did this intentionally, stupid, just not trying to fool people. I don't know why you would bother, but yeah,
who knows?
Brutal, just brutal. I don't know.
So to carry on from that, I do have some real news from Nick Castle himself.
Yes.
This is actually kind of cool because it's pretty much like an hour and a half from us. This interview took place at Steel City Con in Pittsburgh, which is kind of cool. All right. So Nick Castle teases Halloween Ends will have a surprising story and an unexpected ending. You ready?
Yeah.
In an interview, he said, "I think there might be more because of all the success of this trilogy." So even he's telling us that we're probably going to see more eventually down the road.
Now, I do want to say Jason Blum said there are currently no plans in terms of Blumhouse's involvement for them to go beyond this film.
Right.
But he said he would love to, but it's up to the Akkads. I just want to throw that out there for some context because there's this is not that they're announcing a sequel or anything like that. This is Nick Castle's viewpoint on everything.
Right. It says, but Green will have a very surprising storyline and an ending for everyone. It's absolutely something I don't think you would have ever guessed in terms of the way it's all going to unroll. That kind of scares me a little bit, but I have a theory though. Mm-hmm. I had this theory, okay, and I want to talk to you about it. Of all people, me and you got to talk.
Okay, all right.
Okay, we just talked about the fact off the stupid script that we've seen James Hugh Courtney, of course, Michael Myers. We've seen his face from the get-go, right?
Yes.
They gave us enough in the first one that we saw the side view, and then if you watch the scene where he's kind of stalking the girl in the bathroom, if you look through the stall, you can see his face. Mm-hmm. You can clearly see his face when he's fighting the other podcaster. And then in Halloween Kills, we see full-on shots of his face, obviously. So Laurie knows what he looks like. Allison knows what he looks like. Karen knows she's dead, which is good. But still, people know his face now, right? Here's my thing. Remember how we talked about how they've been real specific about doing like these little Easter eggs? So we heard about Willie the Kid on the radio, and then we found out he's going to be a character in Halloween Ends. They've been throwing those at us every movie. Just mentions something, and all of a sudden, boom, it's a character or it's something that happens, right? I feel like they have purposely given us Michael's face for a reason. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you why I think this. Remember how Nick Castle said he's going to have a fun cameo in Halloween Ends?
I know where you're going with this, yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I feel like if the intention maybe already is to keep this series going, whoever takes it, whoever picks it up, if it's Blumhouse, if it's whoever's house, whatever. I'm telling you, they're going to kill Michael Myers. They think they killed Michael Myers, and then when they take that fucking mask off, it's going to be Nick Castle.
Nick Castle.
There's his fun cameo for the people that know who he is. That's a great cameo for him because we actually get to see his face.
There's your twist ending that they're talking about.
For people that don't know who he is, shame on you. Find out. Go find a picture. Google it.
Yeah.
Because think about it, man. Look at Halloween 6, the producer's cut, when Michael pretty much put the mask on Dr. Wynn, and then when Loomis took it off, he found out, and then Michael was walking down the hallway like, see you later, I'm out. Yeah. I think we might get something similar to that with this, but like I said, they've been showing us his face for a fucking reason. They have. There's something behind it.
That is true, and they have been showing it. They made sure to show it in every movie. Yeah. There's no mistaking it. You're gonna know who it is when you see him or when you don't see him. Very possible. I think that's a very, very good, solid theory. Of course, we won't know until we see it, but that would be in line with this list. That would be in line with the whole thing about the Akkads not wanting Michael to ever be definitively killed off in a Halloween movie. There's going to be more Halloween, in some form. This isn't the last one ever. We talked about it. It's probably the last one for some time. I don't think that I know we had some comments before where people there were several people or one or two people who thought that Jamie Lee Curtis wants to kill the franchise. No, I don't think that's the case as much as she wants to maybe end her part of it.
Yeah.
and move on with that part of the story.
If she didn't want to come back, she just wouldn't have. Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she
knew. Yeah, she knew what she signed up for. She signed up for a trilogy.
Yeah,
she obviously wanted to do them.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, she wouldn't have done it if she. You know what? What does she care about killing the franchise?
Exactly.
You know, she wants to. She has always wanted to close out her role. Obviously, 1978 was the original Halloween was not meant to be a movie that had a bunch of sequels, but lo and behold, it did. And I feel like that was really her first big break as an actress, and I think that she really wants closure in that role. And I think that Halloween, H2O, and Resurrection didn't do it for her, and this was an opportunity for her to get that. And that's where it's going to end. And I do think this will be the end for her in terms of playing Laurie Strode in Halloween movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think
they told us that from the start.
Yes. Yeah.
They've always said that these movies will be the ending of the Michael Myers and Laurie Strode story.
Right. And again, and that's what it's the end of the local. Yeah. So, there will be more. So I could see a scenario where Michael lives. I could see a scenario where he doesn't, but
So let me ask this question. If my theory is correct, right? You still could say you killed Michael Myers because the castle is Michael Myers, right?
Exactly.
So technically,
that's true.
I mean, you could say that.
Remember the interview that she gave on the red carpet when she says, "Well, it ends," and they said, "What does that mean? Is Michael Myers dead?" And she said, "Well, what does dead even mean in a Halloween universe?"
Exactly.
That was very interesting choice of words. So,
but here's my thing, though. Would again, if my theory is correct, would that piss you off though? Because they keep saying it's going to make us mad.
No, but
that make you mad?
Not me, but I can see where it could make some people mad.
True.
Not me.
I get it.
I think it's a clever way to. Well, first of all, for one thing, it's going to be a lot of reminiscing of what they did with the ending of H2O that did piss a lot of people off in order to so they could turn around and make Resurrection.
True.
But that's what these guys have been doing. They've been taking bits and pieces from the other stories and incorporating them in. So, no, it wouldn't make me mad. I fully expect that they're going to do something. Whoa. Adobe wants to update.
Oh, here it goes again. You said it does it to you all the time.
Every time. But yeah, no, I wouldn't make me mad, but I could see where it would make some people mad, but not me. Right. What about you? What do you think?
So, I mean, here's the thing. I wouldn't be upset. I think it would be a cool way to show Nick Castle. Like, we know that he's had small cameos in the past two movies. Unfortunately, his one in Kills got cut.
Yeah.
But to see his actual face for me would be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah.
And I also know that Michael Myers is still alive, and we're going to get another movie down the road.
Exactly.
Which makes me happy.
Right.
It ends the Laurie Strode story. Because here's the thing, dude. She's got to die. We've talked about this midway through that movie.
Yeah.
And Allison's taken over. She's been primed for that since 2018.
Yes.
She's suffered so much trauma just in those 4 years.
Yep.
That she's worse than fucking Jamie Lee Curtis right now.
Yeah. Yep.
And she's ready to fight, man.
Yep.
Other than what he said, as far as what I already had read, he didn't give anything else away as far as the ending, but he did tease the quality of this conclusive series. So, I mean, that's all you pretty much get. But even John Carpenter himself commented and said that if it does well, he feels there's going to be more anyway. So,
absolutely. I think anybody knows that. If you're kidding yourself, if not, this thing's a cash cow. They're going to keep doing it. That's what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
You may not get anything at the level of what we're seeing now, or maybe you will. I don't know. It's really hard to say what you're going to see, but there's going to be more. This thing's going to be going on forever. There's going to be reboots, remakes, sequels, prequels. I don't know. There's going to be a lot. So.
Yeah. And speaking of John Carpenter, I was a couple years old when I found out that he's actually doing the music for Firestarter. So now I'm even more intrigued to see it.
That's also a big deal because he was supposed to direct the original. So that's cool.
So very cool, man. All right, that's all I got for fun news.
A couple quick comments, just because I do like to make it a point to jump through a couple comments every week. Last week we got a comment from, and I hope I don't butcher this, at Podcast, ATGNAT podcast. Said, keep up the great work, guys. Really appreciate that. You know, obviously, you know, sounds like somebody who has does a podcast of their own. You know, go ahead, feed us the info, and we'll plug it on the show here.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's this guy here says, thank you, horror guys. I enjoy your show. I was also thinking that Halloween Ends should probably be longer. I mean, this dude Myers is a legit badass. So what will it take? I mean, they haven't tried exorcism yet. Well, there's an idea.
Hey,
you know, in terms of the movie being longer, hey, if you have a story, we talked about this before. If you have a story to fill, you know, I say, you know, length should not impede telling the story.
Every superhero movie is damn near 3 hours long. I would take a 2 hour and some odd minute cut of Halloween Ends just because if you have the story for it, let's go. Yeah. 100%, man.
Byron Weaver says, this was 2 weeks ago, says, my bucket list for Halloween Ends, and this will be the last comment I read today. 1, make Allison the main focus. I do think that's going to happen. Laurie dies in a heroic way. I think that's going to happen. More stalking from Michael Myers. Yes, if there's one thing this series has lacked is the stalking that we saw in the original film. I would love to see more of that. If they could do some more of the style that they did, even of the flashback, would be great.
Yeah, there was even a scene that they cut in the first one. I don't know if you saw it, but Allison was jogging and Michael was standing in like the street behind a tree, like
stuff more like that. Halloween 4 and 6 type atmosphere. Again, totally agree. Those two films had a great Halloween feeling to them. No stupid. Great writing, great dialogue. Obviously, no stupid subplot. Agreed. Make the score a character itself. With John Carpenter on board, really focusing on the score, which they did a really good job of in 2018. Maybe dropped off a little bit with kills, but yeah,
I actually like the kill score.
I like the score. I like the score. I'm talking about in terms of how it's utilized in the film. I think they did better in 2018 with it. And the last one, I'm sorry, number 9 out of 10 here. Officer Frank Hawkins sacrifices himself to save Laurie Strode and dies in the process. Possibility. I could see it happening.
Dude, here's the thing. They brought his character back for a reason. They made him survive being stabbed in the neck and ran over by a car, basically.
Right.
Not just to lay in a bed and give a small speech about Michael Myers and tell Laurie, hey, motherfucker, it ain't about you.
Right.
He's there for a reason. He's back for something.
He's gonna play a big role. And his last item on the bucket list is no more callbacks. Apparently, Byron has had enough of the callbacks and wants to get straight to the brass tacks. I do suspect we will see some callbacks, but I think also this will be a different film from the other two. Overall, that was an excellent comment. You guys keep them coming. I love these. And we're going to keep trying to go back through and read them. I'd like to read some newer stuff if we can get them, but definitely you guys comment. We're going to try to pick some out every week and we'll go through and respond every once in a while. But John, tell them where they can find us.
All right. You can find us on YouTube, find us on Spotify. Was it Apple Podcast, Twitter, Facebook, and pretty much everywhere else we pop up. Cause like Alan says, we pop up everywhere. So check us out. If you don't want to watch us, you can listen to us either way.
And in case you don't want to listen to a couple of old guys tell you where to find us on the internet, we have a little thing at the end of the show we always put up there that tells you as well. So
yes, shout out to Jeremy the Madman for that one.
Yes.
But no, man, and again, leave us the comments whether they're hateful or fun. We like to see them no matter what. Tell us your theories on anything we talked about today.
Yep. And
of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
That's right. And then the little thing will pop up and you'll get notified. And, all is well in the world because we'll be here every week, except for the weeks we're not, which we will have something for you, hopefully. So,
yes.
But most weeks we're here.
We have a lot of old fun content, including like skits and movies coming up soon. We're going to put some of our movies up too.
Yep. And hopefully some more of that stuff in the future. So,
yes,
that's all I got. Hey,
that's it for me.
See y'all next week. We'll have something else for you. Don't know what what it'll be. Yeah, somebody.
See you
I don't
later.
know what just happened up there. Later, guys.
Fans, check out and follow the Horror Guys. You can find them on Facebook, facebook.com/The Horror Guys. On Twitter, Horror Guys 21, that's HORRORGUYS 21. On YouTube, The Horror Guys. And also on Spotify, search for The Horror Guys.
Beetlejuice.